Shocking history. Facts School hides from you. Did you know that some of the most shocking events in history were never taught in school? You might think you know history, but there are dark, hidden truths that remain buried beneath textbooks and lectures. Make sure you watch till the end to discover a historical event so shocking that it was erased from history books forever. The Great Fire of 1814. A city burned in alcohol. Did you know that in 1814, a literal flood of beer and alcohol destroyed an entire London neighborhood? In October 1814, a massive vat of beer at the Mew & Company brewery exploded, unleashing over 1.4 million liters of beer into the streets. The flood swept through the St. Giles district, collapsing buildings and drowning people. Schools often highlight the Great Fire of London in 1666, but this bizarre and deadly beer flood? Almost never mentioned. The U.S. government poisoned alcohol during Prohibition. Here's something that might shock you. The U.S. government poisoned alcohol on purpose. During Prohibition in the 1920s, when alcohol was illegal, many people continued to drink bootlegged liquor. In an attempt to stop illegal alcohol consumption, the government ordered manufacturers to add lethal chemicals to industrial alcohol. The result? Over 10,000 people died. A government knowingly poisoning its citizens? That's not something they put in school textbooks. The 1518 dancing plague people danced until they dropped. Imagine walking into a town square and seeing hundreds of people dancing uncontrollably, unable to stop for days, even weeks. In 1518 in Strasbourg, France, a woman named Frau Trophea started dancing in the streets for no reason. Soon, dozens, then hundreds, joined her, unable to stop. Some danced until they literally died from exhaustion. Historians believe it may have been mass hysteria or even ergot poisoning, but the fact remains, people danced themselves to death, and it's barely mentioned in history classes. The CIA's secret mind control experiments. Did you know that the CIA once experimented on American citizens without their consent? Project MK Ultra was a top-secret CIA program in the 1950s and 60s that tested mind control techniques using LSD and psychological torture. Some subjects were completely unaware they were part of these dangerous experiments, and many suffered permanent damage. Government agencies later destroyed most evidence, but declassified files confirm that this happened. Yet most schools conveniently leave it out. The forgotten massacre of Black Wall Street. You've heard of the Great Depression, but did you know that one of the most thriving black communities in America was burned to the ground in 1921? Tulsa's Greenwood District, also known as Black Wall Street, was a prosperous African-American neighborhood. But in one of the worst racial attacks in U.S. history, a white mob burned down the district, killing hundreds and destroying homes and businesses. For decades, this horrific event was erased from textbooks. Even today, many Americans are unaware of it. The real reason the Eiffel Tower was almost torn down. The Eiffel Tower is one of the most famous landmarks in the world, but did you know it was almost completely demolished? Built in 1889, it was originally meant to be a temporary structure and was supposed to be torn down in 1909. The only reason it was saved? It proved useful as a military radio transmission tower during World War I. If not for that, Paris would have lost its most iconic monument forever. The mysterious disappearance of the Roanoke colony. One of the strangest disappearances in history happened in the late 1500s. A group of English settlers established a colony on Roanoke Island, but when supply ships returned a few years later, every single person had vanished without a trace. The only clue left behind was a cryptic word carved into a tree, Croatoan. Was it disease, an attack, or something more mysterious? To this day, no one knows for sure. The secret Nazi plot to poison America. Most people know about World War II, but did you know that the Nazis had an actual plan to poison the United States? Operation Pastorius was a secret Nazi mission to infiltrate the U.S. and commit acts of sabotage. German agents were sent to America with plans to attack infrastructure and even contaminate water supplies. Luckily, The plot was discovered and the spies were caught before they could succeed. But imagine how different history could have been. The execution of a pope. History tells us that popes hold immense power. But did you know that one was actually put on trial even after his death? Pope Formosus, who ruled from 891 to 896 AD, had so many enemies that after his death, his corpse was dug up, placed on trial, and found guilty. His body was then thrown into the river as a punishment. The Catholic Church later reversed the ruling, but this bizarre event remains one of the most shocking moments in religious history. The government's plan to fake an alien invasion. This one sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it's real. During the Cold War, the US considered launching Operation Northwoods, a plan to stage fake terrorist attacks, including a fake alien invasion, to manipulate public opinion. Although it was never carried out, the fact that officials even considered it is mind-blowing. If this had happened, history as we know it might be completely different. So, which of these shocking history facts surprised you the most? Did your school ever teach you any of these? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible history facts that they don't want you to know. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.